Hey y'all, TeannaBReading here, and welcome back to my channel. Back with another book review. Now, I'm gonna apologize in advance. Y'all know I prefer to review black romance, urban, whatever, fiction, romance books. But this author's books are very near and dear to me. And she is not black. um, so I really wanted to review one of her books. The book I'm reviewing today is The Dixon Rule, and it is by Elle Kennedy. It is the second book in her Campus Diaries series. Real quick, let me explain to y'all why I'm reviewing this book, because y'all know I said I prefer to review black books, or by black authors. When I was in college, I fell in love with reading again. I told y'all I grew up reading. As I got older, I didn't read as much. I never stopped, but I didn't read as much. And then once I got to college, I rediscovered my love for reading. And the unfortunate truth is, romance novels by white authors are way more readily available than by black authors. So unless you have, when I was little, I had a library card, and Detroit Public Libraries were everywhere at the time. So it was nothing to find black authors in the library, because Detroit is a black city. But as I got to college, I just read whatever romance novels I can get my hands on. I would buy some from the school bookstore, download them online, all that stuff. And I discovered Elle Kennedy's, what's the name of the book? Off Campus? The Off Campus book series with Graham, Dean, Tucker, and Logan. And, well, Gary Graham. I don't know why I call him Graham, but y'all know. I discovered that series, and I was like, oh my God, these books are so good. And it kind of reintroduced me to reading. So I recently stumbled upon her books again, because I haven't read anything by her in a while. Not for any reason, I just haven't. Anyway, I discovered the On Campus series, and I'm not doing book 1, but I'm going to do book 2. Should I do book 1? No, we're not going to do book 1. We're not going to go back to book 1. We're going to do book 2 because that's fresh in my mind. So like I said, book 2 is called The Dixon Rule. And yeah, this is a young adult, they're college aged romance. I rated it a 4 out of 5. It's 526 pages. We're going to read the summary, and I believe it's just a brief excerpt from the summary on Kindle, because it doesn't look like a whole summary, but I'm going to read it anyway. Despite Diana's reluctance to break her rule, a fake relationship is the perfect solution for her own ex issues. And soon, she can't deny something is sizzling between her and Shane. Something hot and completely unexpected. Real quick, I want to tell y'all, if y'all read the Off-Campus series, Graham and, what was his girlfriend's name at the time? Was it Heather? No, what was his girlfriend's name? What was the nickname they gave her? It was Hannah, wasn't it? What was her nickname? Oh, I can't think of the nickname. I can't think of the nickname. Anyway, Graham and Wellesley. That's what they called her. They called her Wellesley. Graham and Wellesley's daughter is the Campus Diaries book 1, Gigi. Diana is Gigi's best friend, one of Gigi's best friends. We meet Diana in book 1. Okay, I did read book 1. I'm just not reviewing it. But we meet Diana in book 1. So if you want more backstory on her that I leave out, read book 1. But neither here nor there, we're going to get into book 2. Okay, but just to let y'all know, Diana is friends with Gigi. Gigi is the daughter of Graham and Wellesley. I believe Wellesley's first name is Hannah, but I'm not 100% sure. I forgot. Because once again, I've been out of college for a long time. Not that long, but a long time. I read off campus when I was in college. Okay, when I was a young adult. All right. I said I like that these these campus diaries books are giving so much of the original off-campus series. I said that series was one of the first set of books I fell in love with after rediscovering my love for reading. When I tell y'all, I loved those books. I, at the time, really enjoyed college romances because I was a college student at the time. And that's pretty much all, the majority of Elle Kennedy's books. So I like the fact that because these books are all built around like the guys playing hockey, we get like a rotation of Garrett in the books. We get a rotation of Logan in the books. Then we'll see Dean pop up. We'll see Tucker pop up. Like we don't see the women as often. Now we did, I think, see Wellesley in book 1 because that was about Garrett and Wellesley's daughter. But other than that, we don't see the women that much in the books, but we definitely see all of the offspring. So we see all of the cousins, because they call each other brothers, obviously. So we see all of their kids interact with each other and where they are now the kids are now as adults, and adults are where they're lawyers, models, performers, whatever the case may be, professional hockey players, whatever the case may be. We get to see all of that, and I really enjoy that because it kind of makes me feel like, wow, I grew up with the people in the book. You get what I'm saying? Like, I remember reading about their parents being in college, and now their parents are retired hockey players or teachers still, or coaches, or this or that, whatever the case may be. And now they're like, if you read the off-campus series, and I'm sorry I'm getting off topic, if you read the off-campus series and you remember Tucker and Sabrina having a child named James that they called Jamie, and then you continue with these other books, and you're seeing her mentioned in the books, and I think she's a lawyer, I think, just like Sabrina is. But it's just like, oh my gosh, Sabrina made it. Sabrina made it. And not only did she make it, the baby that was a baby in their book is now an adult and doing well. And it's so great to see. Oh my gosh, they overcame Sabrina's traumatic upbringing, like that kind of stuff. So I really do like that we get so much, but it's not overpowering. It's just enough of the original off-campus club group in these campus diaries books. I've only read the first 2 because I think those are the only 2 that have been out so far. But I do like that. I said that Diana is an amazing character and she's very flushed out. For her to be a college student, she's very aware, I feel like, of herself. She's very sure of herself without being full of herself, if that makes sense. Like she comes across like a character you want to root for. She comes across as a character you want to see win. And I really enjoyed that about this book, is that the entire book, I did not want to see her lose. I did not want to see her sad, or I didn't want to see her like upset, or whatever. She comes across as one of those characters that you want to win on every page. Now the fact that it's a romance book, that's not that's not how these books go. She's gonna have some struggle. But the fact that she's such a flushed out and like, she's not unsure of herself. She's not unsure. And I don't mean what happens to her, but just like her as a person, as an individual. And as an individual, she's very certain of who she is. She's very sure of herself. There are some things that happen to her that makes her feel like, oh my gosh, I should have been able to do this or do that. But I don't think it's about the way she sees herself. I think it's about the way that she thinks people see her, which I think is completely different. I feel like you can be very sure of yourself within yourself, but question yourself when it comes to what other people think of you. I think those are two different things. So I like the fact that she's very fleshed out within herself, and the book gives you time and space to feel like you know her, to feel like she could be your silly neighbor in your condo complex or whatever, your apartment complex, or, like that's kind of what it feels like. Because I feel like a lot of times what authors do is they'll create new characters around old characters or whatever, and you will read that person's book about their friend and be like, why would they be friends? Like, we know Gigi's parents, and then we meet Gigi, and it's like, oh, it makes sense. Gigi comes from good parents. In the book world, I'm saying. And I'm glad that we were introduced to Diana, and it was like, oh, Diana's such a good friend. Like, it's not a situation where it's like, I don't think I like her. You know what I'm saying? I don't like how she blindly believed Crystal, especially when she warned Crystal from the beginning that Shane was a player, and Crystal acted like that was no big deal. Shane is making his way through the cheer team, child. Shane said he young and living. Shane said he young and turned. Shane is making his way through the crowd. Shane is making his way through the girls. And Crystal starts sleeping with Shane. And Diana tells her, like, girl, if you knew like I knew, you would leave him alone because he is disgusting. Girl, he's sleeping with everybody. Girl, don't you get your feelings involved because you saw what happened to our other teammate, our other cheer team mate. She got caught up and look where she is now. And Crystal was basically like, girl, I know what this is. He is not going to play me. I got this in the bag. And then when Shane is like, okay, I'm done with this arrangement, basically. Like, we aren't a couple. I've never told you we were a couple. You knew we weren't a couple. I don't want to be bothered with you no more because you disrespected me. Crystal's feelings are all hurt. And then she goes crying to Diana. And Diana turns their whole complex, a condo of the building, against him. Off of a lie and half-truth that Crystal told. So I didn't like the fact that she blindly believed Crystal, even after she told Crystal, like, girl, he's going to play you. This is who he is. I felt like she should have been like, well, Crystal, I tried to warn you, and moved on. But the whole, let's ice him out from the whole building and let's not let him join meetings and stuff, I thought that was kind of extra. It was funny, but it was kind of extra, especially because Crystal told you she knew what she was getting herself into and she didn't care. So you shouldn't care. I'm glad the author introduced Percival as being creepy in book 1. That way it wasn't just out of nowhere now that I'm reading book 2. We meet Percy in the previous book, and Gigi tells us that his behavior is weird. Gigi, once again, is one of the best friends. Gigi tells us that it's weird that he's like, Percy's like 26, I think. Talking to, did y'all see that spit? Sorry. Talking to like a 21-year-old or whatever. Percy's, and y'all may be thinking that's not that big of a gap. No. When you at different points in life, it's a big gap. When you in grad school and you still talking to somebody who has not completed undergrad yet, that is a big gap. When you pretty much got your life together and you talking to an undergrad student who's still kind of fumbling and bumbling, that is a big gap. And Gigi tells us in book 1 I feel like it's weird that he's interested in you. I feel like you should keep your eye on him. Like, it's just weird to me that his grown self would be interested in you. And so, because she said that, then it plants the seed that, okay, he's somebody I need to keep my eye on. And for the reader, I'm saying, as a reader, that's how I felt. And so when I got to book 2, and Diana confirmed that he not only was he a creep, but he be in that DV, doing that DV mess. I was like, okay. Because one thing I do not like is if somebody is clearly a bad guy and we are forced to find a reason to reckon with them. Let me know off the bat that they're not worth my time. Let me know off the bat that I need to be keeping an eye on him. And I'm glad that Miss Kennedy did that in book 1. So that we got to book 2 and saw his behavior. They were broken up by the time we got to book 2. But it wasn't a situation where we were hoping they got back together. Or me, where I was hoping. It wasn't a situation I was hoping they got back together. It wasn't a situation where I was wondering what he did wrong. Because I'm still in my mind thinking, I don't know exactly what he did yet. But Gigi told me book 1 he was weird. You see what I'm saying? The groundwork was already laid. So whatever he did, I know he did that. I know he did it. I know he deserves to be outcasted by Diana. I know Diana deserves not to be, but like deserves better than to be with him. Because Gigi told me this book 1. And now Diana telling me this again in book 2. And she don't need to tell me no reason. She tells us why eventually. But she don't need to tell me no reason. Because I already been knowing since book 1 that there was some stuff going on with him. Said Lindsay was being messy, bringing Tyreek to Shane's home. Shane moves into the condo on the same floor as Diana. Excuse me. And he's like trying to get over a heartbreak, which is why he's plowing his way through the whole cheer team. And him and his ex decide to take the "we'll always be friends" approach. So he invites the ex to stay with him if she's ever in town. She takes him up on his offer because she's deciding she wants to come to Briar. Is it Briar? Did Elle Kennedy write Briar You? Or is that a different author? It's Briar, right? Whatever. To come to school, the same school. And with that, what is the name of the school? Is it Briar? Child, whatever. With that, she decides to bring her boyfriend to come sleep with Shane as well. Or Shane's house as well. And I was like, that was very messy because you only did it to make Shane jealous. And then when Shane and Diana put on the act that Diana is his girlfriend to keep him from being embarrassed, now you're jealous and talking junk about Diana. But my thing is, why would you care if you brought a guy? You brought that guy to make him jealous. And it didn't work out in your favor because he sprung up with a girlfriend. And you were all, well, why didn't I know you had a girlfriend? And he's like, well, why would I tell you I had a girlfriend? I didn't know you had a boyfriend until you showed up at my door with him. Why is it your business that he's in a relationship? Anyways, that's all I wrote. I don't want to give too much away. It was a really good book. Yeah, I know I usually don't do these reviews, but I wanted to review this one. I do recommend reading book 1 before you read book 2. Not because you're going to miss a lot, but just because you're going to miss the things that you should pay attention to in book 2. Because once again, Gigi's conversations with Diana about Percy in book 1 do a good job of laying down the groundwork for their dynamic in book 2. It does a good job of like leading you to the fountain in book 2. Like I said, 4 out of 5 in this book. I loved this book. Is what made me rate it a 4 out of 5 instead of a 5 out of 5 was Shane's reaction to what happens in his family, in Shane's family. The way he responded to that kind of threw me for a loop, and that's why I rated it a 4 instead of a 5. But it wasn't a bad reaction. It was just, it kind of made me go, like scratch my head. Other than that, like I said, 4 out of 5. Love this book. That's it for this review. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff down below. Let me know any other books that you would like me to review. Did you like this book? Did you read this book? Will you read this book? Will you not read this book? Why not if not? Anyway, I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.